Friday, February 23rd. Okay, so we had the moon in Leo go void, of course, last evening at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see the moon in Leo be void, of course, all day here today until 8:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we shift into the Virgo energy. That is an extremely long amount of time for us to be sitting in, being shaky, being uncertain, being kind of emotionally unstable, which of course the moon in being void, of course, always kind of pushes us into. While the moon is void, we are going to see Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, move out of Aquarius energy and move into Pisces energy. I am going to recommend that you go ahead, you take a listen to that astro forecast that I've put out for this particular transit. And of course, if you downloaded your Pisces season e-guide, you're going to want to flip to this particular chapter in your workbook and really capture the shift in your mental plane, in your focus, in your ideas. Now, as if that wasn't a whole lot all in itself, we're actually entering into the full moon window. Of course, we are going to be having our full moon in Virgo pop off here February 24th. That's going to be the last astro event of this month. It is the last full moon of this astrological calendar before we usher in a brand new year. So there's a lot going on. And we are still very much in the adjustment phase because, of course, Venus and Mars just popped off. The true node, Chiron, just popped off. We have all of these solar flares popping off. The ascension symptoms are just reaching their peak. Go ahead, listen to this week's ascension forecast if you need a refresher on why it is that you're experiencing some of the physical ailments, the physical discomfort in which you currently are. There are multiple cycles ending, multiple cycles beginning, and of course we're in Pisces season, so it's like we're in a washing machine just being tossed around from one side to the next. We are going from the surface where we're able to breathe very, very easily, very clearly, and then suddenly something pulls us down to the deepest, darkest depths of our emotions, and we feel like we're essentially suffocating. This is just the ending, the closing out of the astrological year. There are high highs, there are low lows. Very rarely are we finding balance, finding a sweet spot in between. So with that being said, there are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 5 of them are going to involve the moon. So I'm going to give you some timestamps because I think this is an interesting dynamic here. 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the moon, void of course, in this Leo energy, making a positive interaction with Neptune in his place of power in this Pisces energy. This is a positive interaction for us, even though we're not the most sure, we're not the most stable. What we are doing is kind of renewing our faith, renewing our soul, renewing our spirit. We're recognizing that there's new insights, there's new downloads coming in. We have new hopes, new wishes, new dreams, and we are heart aligned in this Leo energy to make sure that it is going to make us happy, that it is going to be a true match to our new vibration, our new frequency. So overall, this is kind of like a dreamy, creative type of zone. And because the majority of us will be in the sleep state at that particular time, hopefully we are sleeping, but I suspect that there's going to be some cryptic messages in our dream state on what it is that we want to build towards, what it is that we're inspired to pursue, what it is that we need to push through, actually change, actually transform in order for us to bring something new to life. 2:29 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, that's when Mercury is going to shift in the Pisces energy. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic, seeing as the majority of us are sleeping as well. We're going to have the lowest level of our intellect that Mercury rules over now do a deep dive in the Piscean energy. It may be very hard for us to wake up and actually feel rested, actually feel alert. We're kind of lost in a daydream with Mercury being in this Pisces energy. And again, I'm going to encourage you to take a listen to that astro forecast so that you can understand what kind of mental frame we are going to be sitting in for the next coming of weeks. 1:36 p.m. Okay, so that's like, almost 12 hours later. We have the moon still in this Leo energy, still void, of course, now making a tough interaction with Neptune in this Pisces energy. So this is going to create a lot of tension, a lot of conflict in us. And I would suspect that a lot of this is due to Mercury having now transited into this Piscean energy. Keeping in mind that Mercury has been in Aquarius energy, having the highest form of our intellect and the lowest form of our intellect working together, which means that we were seeing the greater, grander vision, the greater, grander picture. And then all of a sudden, because of the emotional detachment that we get in that Aquarius energy, in order to allow us to see things as they are instead of the way that we wish that they would be, we get submerged in the deepest, darkest depths of our mental plane, of our inner narrative, of old ideas, old memories, old chapters. And that's really going to mess with our focus. And so the moon being in this Leo energy now kind of creating this tougher aspect with Neptune, we're not on the same page. We're not feeling good. We're not feeling hopeful. We're not feeling restored. We're not feeling heart aligned. Instead, now we're sitting in the fears. We're sitting in the doubts. We're sitting in the insecurities that we're now having about the vision, about the hopes, the wishes, the dream that we were semi-excited about earlier on in the day. Whether we were awake or not doesn't really matter. The potential, the inspiration, the encouragement that we were tapping into just dropped off, and that doesn't feel good. So a couple of hours later, Mercury is going to make a positive interaction with Pluto. Interesting dynamic. Pluto does a deep dive in our psyche, really examining where old memories, old pain, old trauma, old narratives really are keeping us in a holding pattern. The whole point of Plutonian energy is to highlight that darkness so that we can flip the script, we can elevate, we can empower ourselves to kind of boss up, take control back, if you will. Now, Mercury is fresh in this Pisces energy. Pluto, 0 degree in Aquarius energy, we're having some big thoughts about our past. We're having some big thoughts about closing out chapters. We're having some huge revelations on where it is that we have to wrap things up in order for the new to actually begin. There isn't a whole lot of imagination and creativity at this point, which we can expect from Mercury being in Pisces eventually. What this is a deconstruction of all of the not so nice thoughts, feelings, memories, ideas, inner dialogues, narratives. We have to be illuminated to what the blockages are in order for us to feel it so that we can heal it. This is a positive interaction though, so it's not all dark and doom and gloom. What it is doing is helping to intensify our focus on really understanding what is ending because we've outgrown it, because it's no longer serving a purpose. And from that, very hyper focused on what it is that we can begin, what it is that we can build, what it is that we can create in the place of the things that we are currently removing. Now, shortly thereafter, Mercury is going to semi-square the North Node, and this isn't going to feel good. This is going to show us where it is that we're not feeling so hot about moving forward, where it is that we do not see opportunities, where we're not seeing the growth, where we're not seeing the ability to heal. We are kind of, I'm going to say, focused on the problem, focused on the challenges, focused on the old, focused on the past, and it doesn't feel good. That North Node in that Aries energy wants to get us on the right path to move forward, wants us to be independent, wants us to be on this soul adventure in order for us to redefine who it is that we are, what it is that we want, need, and desire, and what it is that we want to pursue in this new path, this new quest, this new adventure. But Mercury, now in Pisces energy, oh no, we're not thinking that far into the future. We need a lot of unpacking to do in our past, in our memories, in our ideas. And this is, again, going to illuminate where it is that we're not seeing the opportunities for growth and where it is that at this particular point, I would say we're feeling a little bit claustrophobic and overwhelmed with a lot of the not so nice thoughts, a lot of the not so nice narratives. 8:38 p.m. again, Eastern Standard Time, the moon will lock into Virgo energy. And again, when the moon is in Virgo, we are looking to fix things. We are looking to heal, looking to repair, looking to resolve. But of course, we have to focus on the problem in order to actually be able to fix it, to do anything with it. And anytime that we are first dipping in the Virgo energy, we are definitely looking to identify the problems in order for us to eventually fix them as we move through that Virgo energy. Before we even have a moon interaction, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, in this Aquarius energy. She just popped off, had a rebalancing act with Mars, her masculine counterpart. Venus is going to make a positive interaction with Saturn. So Saturn is the lord of karma. He rules over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, discipline. He's in Pisces energy, trying to close out a 30-year chapter, trying to kind of dissolve and deconstruct the falsehood of beliefs that we, our old self, had been operating off of. We have new karma. We have a new chapter, especially where Venus is concerned. And this means that we are seeing at this point what it is that we can do better, where it is that we can improve. On what, you may ask? Okay, well, first of all, let's work on our self-confidence, our self-esteem. Let's really work on what we think we actually are worthy of and deserve. Let's really sit in that and understand that we have to be building ourselves up independently in order for that cup to overflow and really affect our external realm. Now, Venus, of course, is very focused on relationships. Where can we do better? Where can we improve? We just integrated some very, very tough love life lessons. We just closed out a karmic chapter. We've now integrated those tough love life lessons into who it is that we are. Now that we know better, we can do better. But there is this hesitancy, there is this resistance to bossing up to the new roles and responsibilities that we have to boss up in, because of course, this is all fresh energy. We're still adjusting. The commitment, the obligations that we are currently trying to kind of keep at a distance, they're coming at us whether we like it or not. We just got to get our heart and our mind right in order to actually boss up into them. So where Saturn kind of brings a little bit of a reality check, lucky for us, this is a positive interaction, so it's not a harsh one, but we are kind of getting down to the nitty gritty on what it is that we're actually resisting, knowing damn well that this is what we've been praying for. This is what we've been, waiting for, so to speak, especially where relationship dynamics are concerned, where money matters are concerned, where the whole glow up is concerned as well. So there is I'm going to say, a little bit of a weight, although I feel like this weight is more acceptable than it would have been even a week ago. There is this weight on where it is that we kind of have to grow up, right? We've had some revelations, we've had some changes, we've had some adjustments. Those will continue as we kind of boss up into this new level of empowerment and are 100% ready and prepared for this next chapter in our relationship dynamics, in our creative endeavors, in our money matters situation as well. It's what we want to build, what we want to create, what we want to bring to life. So then the moon in Virgo energy is going to make a really tough interaction with Pluto. Now, if you've been listening to me for any amount of time, you would know that I love when there is a Plutonian interaction with Virgo energy, and I'm going to tell you why. The Pluto energy does a deep dive in the deepest part of our psyche. That is where the programming, the conditioning, the old ass narratives, the falsehood, the belief system, where all of that is stored. The Virgo energy focuses more on the egoic mental plane. So it's kind of, what we're aware of. It's kind of like the conscious versus the unconscious, if you will. The Virgo energy wants to focus in on the smaller details, really dissecting that deep psyche programming in order to see where it is that we've created some delusions, we've created some lies, we've created some worries, some fears, some doubts, some insecurities that just aren't warranted anymore. We're not that version of ourselves. We're not even in the same situation or circumstance anymore. We have nothing in our physical realms at the moment that would support us in staying with the same old programming, conditioning, way of looking at things, way of speaking to ourselves. And so when Pluto really does a deep dive in our psyche, and again, he's at that 0 degree of Aquarius energy, so he's looking to see where it is that he can free us from some of those restrictions, some of those limiting beliefs, some of that past pain, past trauma, past perspective, if you will. The moon, emotionally speaking, in this Virgo energy, wants to pick apart our feelings, wants to pick apart our immediate thoughts, wants to pick apart what the problem actually is, again, so we can get to work on kind of flipping the script and healing that particular energy. But this isn't going to feel good. This is going to be highly judgmental, highly critical, especially of oneself and the world around us, because that Virgo energy needs to dissect the smaller little details in order to kind of see what it is that we're holding on to that isn't serving us, where the bad habits are, where the bad focus and intent is, and really just open us up to kind of healing that particular energy, that particular part of self. So Pluto intensifies whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling in order for us to almost feel like we're suffocating under it, because unless our backs are against a wall, us as human beings, we don't want to make any change, any adjustment. So we do have to feel that pressure, especially now we're in the full moon window. We are going to see an intensified situation in our emotions and in our headspace. So the moon in Virgo is then going to make a awkward interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. So typically speaking, if this was a positive interaction, we would be seeing options and opportunities to move forward, to grow, to heal, to repair, to actually, get started on this new quest, on this new journey. If it was a negative aspect, we wouldn't be seeing growth and options and opportunities to heal and to evolve. Instead, we'd be kind of mentally blocked from even seeing the possibilities, because we'd be so focused on the problems that we would actually be kind of drowning under the narrative of nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better. This is neither a good or bad interaction. It's just an awkward one, which means that there's a little bit of a glimmer of seeing where it is that we do have some room for improvement, for growth, for evolving, for healing, for repairing. But equally, we're also seeing what is blocking us from doing that. And again, the moon in Virgo's whole jam, its whole purpose is to first identify the freaking problem so that secondly, we can actively work towards trying to fix it, heal it, repair it. So this is definitely one of those jams where we are understanding that there is a little bit of room for improvement, for growth, for healing, for repairment, to move forward, but we equally are very much recognizing what it is that's blocking us from that path. Now, the last aspect that we have taking place here today, also not a great one. The moon in Virgo energy going to sit across from, directly oppose Mercury, now in Pisces energy. Mercury rules over Virgo energy, so anytime that we're interacting with the ruler of the energy that the moon is currently in, there's an intensity, there's a magnification, if you will. There is more of a pressure point. And so Mercury, who's fresh into this Pisces energy, again, Virgo energy, Pisces energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. They represent the axis of healing. Emotionally speaking, we're all up in our headspace because of the Virgo energy, trying to figure out what the problem is, trying to figure out what we could do better, what we could process, what we could integrate, what we could improve upon. Mercury's over here doing a deep dive in Pisces energy, not really having a focus, just kind of being overwhelmed, if you will, with all kinds of different information, all kinds of different aha moments. Just when we feel like we're focused on something, no, we're focused on something else. So the wish-washiness, the vagueness of the Pisces energy is really not getting along with the Virgo energy. Again, Pisces energy has no boundaries. Virgo energy needs boundaries in order to operate. Pisces energy is crazy and chaotic. The Virgo energy needs order to that chaos in order to make sense of anything. So the moon is our emotional situation. Mercury is our mental situation. And right now, our heart and our head not on the same page at all. Our heart is rooted in reality, rooted in the mental plane, trying to figure out what the actual problem is. Our mental plane is often la la land, just all over the place, can't rely upon it, don't know what it's trying to talk about, don't know what it's trying to lead us into. And so there is a huge opposition here. We are at odds within ourselves. Our heart and our head are not in alignment, not in agreement at all. And this is going to create the frustration, the anxiety, the emotions that need to rise to the surface in order for the full moon to really give it a bigger, broader perspective so that we can absolutely see what it is that we need to grow through, what we have to repair, what we have to heal as we realign, recalibrate, really unpack the emotional and mental baggage before we enter into this new astrological year.